The other, during last week, I think, last week and 2 weeks ago, thereabout, we received several inquiries from individuals identifying themselves as fans of somebody popularly known as Muzungu Boda, asking whether he was deported from Uganda and the reasons for the deportation. This gentleman, his real names are Reid Samuel James Amin. Reid Samuel James Amin, but popularly known as Muzungu Boda on social media, especially TikTok. He was recently, of course, removed from Uganda for reasons based on working illegally on a visitor's pass. He has since returned to his home country of New Zealand. We did not deport this gentleman. We removed him. There are two things here. There's organized departure. If you're a foreigner found working on a visitor's pass or on a wrong visa, we organize for your removal from the country. And if you acquire the necessary papers that allow you to work, then you're allowed to come back into the country, which is different from deportation. Deportation is ordered by one, the Minister of Internal Affairs, or courts of law. Courts of law or Minister of Internal Affairs. Nobody else orders deportation. Now, what happens with deportation? The individual is not allowed to return to the country whatsoever. For organized departure, somebody can go back to their country, rearrange and reorganize themselves and acquire the necessary facilities and be able to return to the country to continue with their work. For deportation, you cannot be allowed to return to the country. So for this Muzungu Boda, he was merely removed. This gentleman was found working, running a charitable non-governmental organization illegally without a work permit. And those are the reasons that formed the basis for his organized removal. At some point, you would find this man in one of the recordings doing very weird things, and we even imagined whether he was in his right sense of mind. In one recording, which he did with children, he would be seen drifting with children to very worrying levels, almost children hitting their heads on the tarmac and crying. Children are seen crying while he was laughing, you know. That was a very terrible thing. In another, we saw him run to one old woman, I think, who was carrying her matoke on the head. He's seen grabbing the matoke from the lady's head, then was forcefully seen kissing the lady's breast. And the lady was not amused. After seeing that the lady was not amused, he tossed a 10,000 note to the old woman. Now, such things are not allowed in the African culture, where you grab somebody in public wanting to kiss. That amounts to sexual assault. So he was doing so many things at departures in Entebbe at the airport. He behaved in an awkward situation by yelling at whoever you saw wearing either immigration uniform or government of Uganda with the government of Uganda badge. So that kind of behavior was really uncalled for. So we peacefully sent him to his country and asking him to first reorganize himself. Then he will return, and we shall let him in. He was, I think, a self-appointed spokesperson of government, talking about potholes here, you know. talking about things which were uncoordinated. So we thought the work he had given himself, he needed to have paid for a work permit for it in order to do that kind of work. So of course, to work in any country, including Uganda, an individual must possess a valid work permit. This country has laws, has regulations, has policies to follow. It is not permissible to work or study on a visa or visitor's tourist pass. And unfortunately, for aid, it did not adhere to these regulations. And as a law-abiding country, we could not sit and just clap hands as he continues to break the immigration law. So as it's a standard practice, he was removed from the country along with several others. I wonder why they did not make noise about the others he was removed along with. But I think because he had created a name on TikTok as popular. And of course, all individuals engaging in any form of work, whether it is business, employment, running an NGO, or voluntary work, must secure the necessary work permits, which this gentleman, Raid, popularly known as Muzungu Boda, did not adhere to. So those removed through organized departure can return to Uganda if they apply for the relevant work permit and it is granted. So we do hope this gentleman, now that he went back to New Zealand, he will sit down and go through the immigration laws and know and understand that for you to be able to work in a foreign country, you must have acquired a work permit for that effect.